Hello, hello. Today we have the Lore palette by Unearthly Cosmetics. Y'all, I don't want to say this is when this palette came out, but I remember a time where everyone was just raving about this palette. And this was back then when, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Unearthly Cosmetics used to be called Alien Cosmetics. I think there was some sort of copyright issue or something and they had to change their name to Unearthly. So they changed their name, and so obviously this is not the OG palette, but I believe they've had this palette since they were Alien Cosmetics, and I can see why. I remember there was so much hype. Everyone was talking about how much they loved this palette when it was even still under the Alien Cosmetics name. Now you can see this is the kind of, not updated, but the current brand version, and it was, wow. I think this might be the best Unearthly Cosmetics palette that I've tried so far. This is how the palette comes. It comes in this box. The ingredients are all in the back. Pretty much from what I've seen, all of Unearthly's Cosmetics palettes come in these really nice fancy boxes. You're definitely kind of getting like a little bit of a luxurious feeling with what you buy, because once you open it, you have this foam in here, and then when you remove the foam, you can see that your palette is sitting beautifully right in there, and it all has that same packaging. The same packaging that is on the box is on the carton. The packaging that's on the carton is exactly what the palette looks like. And you're going to have that same information of ingredients on the unit carton. You can see that it's the same there. But I'm going to put this back so we can grab our palette that's actually set to the side right here. This is the actual palette. Looks exactly the same. Again, if you throw away those two boxes, you're still going to have the ingredient information on the back. So I think that's pretty handy to have, you know, regardless of whether you keep it or you don't. I always love to keep my boxes, but here we have Unearthly Cosmetics, the Lore palette. This is, I pulled this out because I've been rummaging through, when I was rummaging through all my makeup palettes, I was trying to pull as many kind of dark, gothier tone, more grungier tone palettes, and this is one of the last ones that I've pulled out. I feel like with the imagery, it's still very Halloween-y. The colors in here aren't too grungy, but I still feel like it fit very much with our October theme. At this point, we're already at the end of October. Halloween is, at the point that I'm filming this, Halloween hasn't happened yet, but we're really close. We're literally days away. So I think even then, even though I know this video is going to come out past Halloween, this is still a really cool consideration to pull out during October for Halloween, just based off the artwork and the color story. So cool. There is a mirror in here. There's a small square mirror here. Here we have the palette. We have oranges and greens. And now I recently did another Unearthly palette that also had oranges and greens. It was the like the Daily Grind. The Daily Grind palette also had oranges and greens, but I find that the quality of this palette I like a lot more. I do wish the one thing, that this black was maybe just a very dark brown. I feel like that might work a little better, but other than that, I really loved the formula in all of this. Like, it just all worked so well. They just played off against each other so well. They're so pretty. And even if you don't, I'm gonna flip this around now, even if you don't end up using this for October or Halloween or something, this still feels like a very November fall palette. Like, I still feel like it very much fits that. Here we have an orange with a green shift. We have this maroon. We have this like dark pink red base with a green shift. We have a pumpkin orange, a carrot orange. We have this kind of blue-green kind of shade, a little bit more green leaning, with a green shift. We have this brown base with a pink shift. We have a black, and then we have this kind of green shade. I think it might be with a brown base. It's like a brown base with a green shift, green kind of color. We'll see when I swatch it. But these all worked really well. This pumpkin orange, by the way, has gold sparkle in it. I don't know if you can catch that, but I think you'll be able to. It has a gold sparkle. It's really pretty. So I think I'm going to swatch, just swatch Faun, and then we'll do Centaur, just because I really loved these two oranges. These are probably some of my favorite shades of oranges. A pumpkin orange and a carrot orange I think is just so pretty. Look at that. And then that carrot orange just works so wonderfully to deepen up this light pumpkin-y kind of orange. We'll do a little bit more orange. They all work, they're pigmented. They were very easy to work with. I really liked working with these. I think where this shines the best is with the shimmers. If I'm remembering correctly, I think for the most part I was able to pick these up with a brush, if I remember it correctly. I was able to pick them up with a brush more or less, but I think the majority of the impact comes from if you use a finger. So I'm trying to remember because I'm already like I've already 2 palettes forward from this, so it's been maybe like several days since I've actually used this, maybe a week almost, and I started gathering my thoughts and stuff on the other palettes, so I'm trying to like separate my thoughts from those palettes from thoughts from this palette. But if I'm remembering correctly, it did pick up on a brush, but I believe it worked a lot prettier if you did use your finger. So maybe that's one of my only qualms from this, but even with that, like, I don't think I cared because it's not really super standing out in my mind just because of how freaking beautiful. Like, I don't even know what to swatch because they all worked so beautifully. Like, I love this Sphinx shade is a shade that I haven't seen since Fantasy Cosmetica. I've only ever seen this shade with Fantasy Cosmetica, this kind of red base with a green shift. I'm going to do Medusa just so we can see that. I think it is a brown base with like a green shift. And then I think let's do Griffin. I don't think I have a favorite shimmer. They were all just so intensely shimmery and beautiful. Just so, so pretty. And I don't want to say I wasn't expecting that, but at this point, this is not my first Unearthly Cosmetics. Y'all, oh my god. So sometimes we get a mismatch, sometimes it works okay, sometimes it doesn't. These are just that super wet, super shiny, very like foiled, I guess you could say, kind of shade. Oh my god, okay, and then the green. Yeah, it's like a brown base with like a green, that green sparkle. And they all just work with each other very well because they all kind of either have that orange tendency or that green tendency. So we have, you know, like I said, there's this orange with green. We have this shade that works well with the oranges. This shade that works, it has green shift in it, so it's going to work with either the orange or the green because it has, you know, orange has red in it. And it has the green shift. We have the 2 oranges. We have this that would play well with the green, this shade that would play well with green. This black would work with either shade. And then this shade, this brown with the pink sparkle that I think would work very well with the oranges. Like, I think they all kind of play off each other, but it's not too on the nose. It does let you play with it a little bit, make you think a little bit about what looks you want to do. But, oh my goodness, if I go this way, you see into the dark, like you can kind of see even more just the intense of the shade. Like, these are just so pretty. I think this is my favorite Unearthly Cosmetics palette. This is, like I said, this palette was so much fun. I'm glad I kind of left it towards the end, closer to Halloween, because this definitely feels very Halloween coded. It very indirectly kind of feels Halloween to me. I don't know how it might feel to you, but I would love to know your thoughts below. I know this palette it's been around. It's not a new palette. So I'm sure you guys have seen other YouTubers, other reviewers talk about this palette, rate this palette. You've probably seen this palette in declutters, and I'm really glad to report I kind of feel like the hype is real on this one.